Terrifier 3 is opening to a 20 million and then some first couple of days, and it's beaten Joker 2, which is amazing, and we're just really excited for Damien Leone, and we saw Terrifier 3, and we're really excited to talk about it. Grayson, what'd you think?
I think it's crazy that Art the Clown has beat the Joker firsthand.
What a dream that would be to have your original clown beat the Joker.
Yeah, it's even more wild because David Howard Thornton has played the Joker in fan films.
Okay,
so now, like, Art's doing better than the Joker, so it's really crazy. But getting back to Terrifier 3, I thought it was awesome. I thought they knocked it out the park once again. Another fantastic slasher, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Yeah, we recently did a video about why Terrifier matters and how it kind of woke up a dormant genre in horror. It's actually our biggest video here on Carnage Candy with a couple of thousand views, so you can go check that out right here. Woo, 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 woo. Oh, man, that was fun. But, yeah, let's keep reviewing this thing. So, spoilers ahead, the full spoilers for Terrifier 3. And if you have any feedback for us or you have some fan theories of your own, because we'll get into that in a little bit, make sure and comment below and make sure and like the video and subscribe to Carnage Candy for more content like this. Man, what an opening that was.
Yeah, I really appreciate that Damien Leone basically said, hey, I'm going to make this opening and there's going to be a line and I'm going to show you that we're going to cross it. So if you want out, now's the time to get out because it's not going to stop after this.
Yeah, they open up with some kid killing. And what I think was probably one of the most disturbing kills is whenever that husband is laying in bed and he's getting murdered by his sleeping wife.
Yep, I actually had a nightmare about that scene last night.
Tell me.
So I have been thinking about this scene. I saw the movie 2 days ago. And every single night before I've gone to bed for the past 2 nights, I have had that split second of being terrified that something was going to happen to me.
If you put your back to the wall, there's going to be an axe that hits you. Oh, my God.
So it finally happened last night. It was like a 5-second during our nightmare. It was, I woke up to Art standing over me and slamming my face with an axe. And I immediately woke up and I was scared, but then I had the split second of being like, oh, yes, finally. Something's gotten me again. I love this.
You haven't had a nightmare about a horror movie in a long time, huh?
It's been a while. Normally my nightmares are something that I just kind of create on my own. It's not horror movie related.
Yeah.
So to have it actually happen now with a horror movie that I watched, I'm excited again.
Yeah, I mean, that means you've got an effective kill.
Yeah,
and honestly, it's like that kill's so messed up because it's like, I thought about, like, would Chelsea wake up or would I wake up if my wife was getting hit with an axe? Because it's such a strange thing. It's like you're very disoriented in the middle of the night and you're like, what's that sound? And, you know, he kind of doesn't say anything and then he makes this gurgling noise. But yeah, Terrifier is so outrageous you forget about, like, except for like the bedroom scene in Terrifier 2, you forget about like how human the people are because
very much so, yes.
But that one was really effective. Obviously, it gave
I mean, it's stuck with me. It's the main thing that has stuck with me from that movie so far.
Yeah, but it has like that really sweet Christmas opening, and like you said, that line's drawn pretty quick, and it's like, okay, he kills, and it's honestly a little. It's actually very empathetic towards the audience because a kid gets killed, but he gets killed off screen to kind of soften the blow.
Yeah.
It's kind of like he was sympathizing or empathetic to people that may not realize how bad it is.
It softened the blow for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, sure. But it is like, okay, there's a kid getting hacked up pretty bad, right? So here's your first opportunity to leave. Here's a dad getting hacked up real bad.
Yep.
You can leave to that. And if you like to see kids chopped up into little pieces,
here it is.
But yeah, I thought that I got really excited when Art is doing the dishes.
After he gets done with everything, he eats the cookies after his job is done.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool, man. Yep, I'm so into this.
He's just as funny as he was before, if not more funny now.
Yeah. But yeah, that opening scene was spectacular. I think kind of moving forward, my favorite part about the entire movie was how Art was they gave him more opportunities to work with other characters outside of the context that he was murdering them.
Yes.
Right? They put him in the mall or in the bar with the Santa Claus and the bartender where he can be a clown.
Yes.
Right? With this secret that the audience knows that there's guns and power tools.
Pretty much anything you could think of in his bag.
Yeah. And I just thought, like, when he sees Santa in the bar and he's like so excited, and I don't know if he went to clown school or not, but like he was even better than he's been before at his mannerisms and his body language.
I think it's because they let him do even more.
Yeah.
I think in this one, Damien really wanted to make him interact more with humans than he ever has before, so he just wanted him to like step it up a little bit.
I love that Art is so monstrous that we call anybody around him human.
I know. No matter what, it's like they're more human than he is.
Yeah, just because he's so vicious. But let's talk a little bit about how the movie develops. I know you already dug into the first scene, but like one of the big gripes we do have with the movie is the involvement so much of the other ghoul. Her name is
Victoria.
Victoria, thank you. She has been possessed by an ancient demon and has resurrected Art by birthing a head and then feeding him and like
replacing his head onto his
old
headless
body
that walks around,
which is cool. Like,
it is cool. I wish there would have been a little bit more to it. There is a funny scene to where you see him with the head of a cop that he dealt with earlier. That's
and he
really
never
funny.
he holds it on the whole time.
Yeah,
I was like, because I was watching it, I was like, oh, please hold it on because it'll fall off otherwise. And he's just like,
it is really, really funny.
Yeah.
But the whole Victoria thing, I didn't really mind it, but it did seem like it got a little confusing with exactly where they were trying to go with her. Like, I wasn't quite sure what the demon was. Like, was the demon stronger than Art? Was Art the one that put the demon in her? Like,
is Art enslaved or controlled by this demon?
Which is an issue and isn't, because it just makes me want to see where Damien takes it since he's writing it and he knows what the ending of the story is.
Yeah,
so.
Clearly there's world building that we aren't aware of, but like,
for sure.
it does feel unnecessary because Art is such a star. I don't necessarily know if he needs a side character, right?
He doesn't. I mean, with Art, it shows that he's a one-man wrecking machine.
Yeah.
Like, from everything that he's done. So I think I think they did it as well as they could with Victoria because they really wanted to wrap up her whole angle.
And honestly, her design is so disturbing.
I love that design.
I think it's a wonderful creature design. Yeah. She's really gross. There is a self-harm scene in a bathtub.
Sure,
I legit got a little bit sick thinking about her decaying body in the blood tub over 5 years. I was like, that's really gross.
Yeah.
Like, it is so disgusting. Honestly, that's like the only time I was like a little queasy was I was thinking about that gnarly mold bathtub with the blood in it. There is also a really hardcore masturbatory scene with that's also self-harm. I felt with Victoria that was like, obviously a lot of Terrifier is to be extreme, but like, I already knew that girl was messed up. I don't know if I needed that either. But like, that was pretty hardcore. Do you have any thoughts about that placement, especially that early in the movie? I mean, and there's also no like, I don't know. I didn't get like a sexual tension thing at all from Victoria's character.
No, it was just more of like a shock value type of thing.
It was shocking.
Yeah, it really was, because I told this to Sean beforehand. Whenever I went into the theater to see Terrifier, there was like a group of 10-year-olds that were in the theater.
Oh man.
So when that scene happened, it was just like, oh no, I wish you did not see that.
Yeah.
Because I get it. Like, as a kid, I was watching hardcore horror movies as well, but it wasn't to like Terrifier 3's level.
Yeah, it makes Exorcist look like Little Bear on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, it goes leaps and bounds. So it did kind of like take me out of the movie for a second, and I was like, oh God, wish they wouldn't have been here for that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I did just have a thought. Are they trying to say that the little girl from Terrifier 2 took over Victoria's body?
You know, I was curious about that because I thought that was like much more interesting relationship-wise.
Yeah.
Victoria's design is like way cooler.
Top tier.
And like there was like some weird, you know, like adult child like stuff with the girl, which made Art scarier in the second one. I was surprised they didn't bring her back because she was really good, like iconology.
That's why I was wondering, because at the end of Terrifier 2, she walks off with his head, and then the next scene you see is Victoria giving birth to the head.
Yes, and we have not done Lord Dumps dives or anything like that. So
it is kind of like, it's a fresh idea. It just popped into my head.
I guess I didn't really think about that.
And then she dresses like the girl towards the end. She has like the same like dress that the little girl had.
Yeah. Yeah, educate us in the comments if we're
for
wrong.
sure.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that would obviously tie a lot together.
Sorry, I got off target.
No,
It literally popped into my head as we were recording.
But yeah, obviously Victoria, and we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get into the finale. But so let's kind of move on to the bar scene. Art has like built this cool cryo gun of himself. He's just fashioned it and had a
It's
good
his
time.
newest special weapon, and it's incredible.
It's like he's giving himself these power-ups.
He
right?
really is. Every movie, he creates something more unique.
Yeah, I thought that the cryo impacts were really gross and realistic. I've worked with like liquid nitrogen before, and it's like it really would break sections of skin. I thought he was gonna like freeze a leg and knock the whole thing off, but like he freezes portions of like his calf muscle and like knocks them off.
I haven't seen a liquid nitrogen scene this cool since Jason X.
Oh yeah,
Jason X will still be number one.
I think so.
But this is definitely number 2 with T2 there as well.
Yeah. But that scene with the bar is just hilarious, and there's huge payoff, and it's so funny.
I think that's the funniest Art has been, is his interaction with the Santa after he's taken his clothes.
Yeah.
Because the Santa is begging for his life.
Yeah.
And he's basically telling Art, he calls him Clowny. He says, Clowny, I'm not the real Santa Claus. I have a family. And Art mouths, yeah. Okay, sure you are. And it's just so funny because Art's like, nah, Santa, you're not getting out of this.
It's funny.
I got you.
Yeah, it's like this fun mockery of like, is Art making fun of him, or
does he really think he's Santa?
yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Don't know. It's so fun. And like, I think it's just wild how much you can laugh at somebody being tortured.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's like. People can call Terrifier like trash all you want, but like you have to be a good filmmaker for somebody to laugh at your movie where somebody's getting their fingers bitten off, right? Like or getting executed. But so Sienna is back, obviously dealing with the trauma.
Yes.
Yeah, great lead. Her scars were really cool, and her trauma was neat. We have that neat dinner scene with her seeing her dead friend, like American Werewolf. And her family's just super nice, as supporting as they can be. Of course, her uncle is like making sane observations about her, completely normal. But Art is kind of just doing his own thing. Like, it's not like he's going after her.
Most of the movie, he's making a trip is the best way to put it.
Yeah.
I think he understands where she is because he gets to the location.
Eventually, gets to her.
But it's just pretty much Art's little vacation to get to her.
It's like he subconsciously knows like the path.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not like he's not like T-1000, like I have your picture.
No, exactly. Yeah.
It's so kind of organic how it happens. But after he tortures Santa Claus, he dons a suit and he goes to the shopping mall. I just wanted to hit on this scene for a little bit, but the movie does this awesome job of kind of villainizing parents in this scene.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of kids at Santa. He at the mall, he steps in and he starts giving presents away. And it's like, instead of me hating Art the Clown, I'm like, oh, you parents are so stupid because they're all looking at their phones and not paying attention to their kids.
To this bloody clown.
Dressed up as Santa Claus.
Yes.
But he gives presents to the kids, and I really liked that like a normal security guard in public moved this like immortal clown killer.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I think that's an interaction you don't really see with Jason or Michael Myers. Right?
Usually when that happens, they immediately die.
Yeah. Or like he would butcher 20 people in the mall or something. But Art gets thrown out of the Santa area.
After he puts up his duke and puts his tongue out at him.
Yeah, he's like... But like, so the kids start opening their presents. And this is a lot like in Terrifier 1 where he pulls peace. And... You know, we're expecting brains, human teeth to be in these gifts. And this boy is opening this present, and it's got this shot, and the kid is opening it like this. And he's like, I wonder what I got. And it's like in the camera's face.
So before this happens, all the presents that are given out are normal.
Yes.
Like a girl gets a little doll, a boy gets a football. I think there's like a fire truck that one kid gets.
The kids are really happy.
Yeah, they're having a great time. And Art, before he gets kicked out, is having a great time with them. He's like, oh, no, slow down, not so fast.
Yeah.
And then we get to your box.
And we really do think, like, it's going to be some body parts. And he goes, this kid, his line read is like an all-time banger line read.
Nice use of words.
Like, he goes, I wonder what I got. And he opens the lid, and it cuts to a very realistic explosion in a storefront, wiping out everybody inside. He bombs kids.
Yeah, they said on the interview, which has a cool guest appearance by Tom Savini, it says that they killed 5 kids in that scene.
Yeah, which they
there's probably more that died in that, but that's the number they're going with.
And I laughed so hard. Everybody in my theater thought it was the funniest thing, these kids getting killed by a bomb. Like domestic terrorism. Everybody's laughing. And I was just like, again, like, that's genius filmmaking to make us laugh at that.
Yeah, I laughed in my theater too, and nobody else did. So there's just that one, ha ha, and everybody just stared back at me. It's like, okay, guess I'm by myself in this one. It's complete quiet with me laughing at a kid blowing up.
Grayson loves dead kids.
I guess that's what they all thought in that theater.
And he's alone.
Yeah.
But eventually, Art makes his way to the shower scene, and we already talked about this a little bit, but the role of the brother is really wasted in this movie.
That's my biggest complaint about this whole movie is Jonathan. His character should do more in the film, but this whole movie, all he's really doing is going against Sienna.
And whining.
And if there's anybody that should understand what Art is, it's him, because he's literally writing letters to Sienna saying we have to stop the child, which was the little girl from the last one, in order to stop Art. And he knows that Sienna is the only person that could do it. But for some reason, he just changes and he's like, I want to live a normal life. And it makes no sense to me on why you want to do this with Jonathan. He should have more of like a Randy type role in this movie.
Yeah.
And he just doesn't. He's just annoying.
Yeah, and I feel like that's probably the only fault in the script, is that Jonathan feels like a path to the shower scene.
Yep.
I think he's just a reason for the podcaster and her douchey boyfriend to exist.
And it's definitely a good scene.
It is a great scene. So we get Art in. And
can I talk about something before Art dies? So there's 2 things I want to talk about. The thing beforehand is there's a conversation between Mia and Cole, who are the roommate and the girlfriend.
Yeah.
And Cole is basically getting on the Mia because Mia was super insensitive to Sienna, trying to get information on her being a survivor. And Cole is basically being like, hey, you're super rude about that. It almost makes it sound like you want to have sex with Art. Art is listening to this conversation, and she says, I don't want to have sex with him, but I want to know what's in his eyes while he's killing people. I want to feel what they're feeling.
Yeah.
And Art hears this. So you cut to the bathroom scene, and there's this really good part. You see the 2 in the shower, and they're, making love and everything. Art is using the restroom.
Yeah.
He gets done using the restroom, and he washes his hands with his gloves still on. I don't know why. It makes me laugh thinking about it. But he's got his fingerless gloves on, and he's just washing his hands before he goes to work.
Stains on him and stuff.
So then he gets his chainsaw, And this is supposed to be like, this is the bedroom scene, the hacksaw scene.
Yeah.
Like, this is the big one of the movie.
Big set piece, yeah.
And it is gnarly. So Art gets a chainsaw, breaks through the glass, starts cutting up the dude first. He cuts up a part of his leg, and it's still hanging on, and he cuts off some of his fingers. And then he goes after the girl, and he hits the girl across the chest. He hits her in the face. I think he hits her in the stomach.
Yeah.
And as she's on the ground, face all torn up, Art kneels down, takes the shades that he has on, puts it on her, and then he stares right at her so that she knows the information that she wanted right before she died.
Yep. Through the lens.
Through the lenses that he had.
Of a killer, yeah.
And it is so horrible and so awesome at the same time.
That's such good film. Because the whole time he's wearing these really goofy sunglasses, and you think it's like just to be funny. And then they're a tool to make the kill like an all-time banger.
Yeah.
Again.
It is. It's really good. So Art finishes her off. Then he gets over to the dude, and he gives the dude the business.
Yeah. I was like, because it's kind of like not vengeance, but like it's kind of like trying to even the score for the first kill, right?
For sure.
Man, he just cracks this guy open, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm on a roll today.
From one end to the other.
Yep. And I was like, man, please show his balls coming apart.
Sure did. They sure did.
Yeah.
They showed everything in that one.
Yeah. And yeah, he just tears them up, man. It was so great. Makes that little blood snow angel,
which is really cool.
Yeah.
That was a nice little addition.
Has that happened in a movie before?
Probably.
It's had to have happened in a movie before.
It's probably happened in a Christmas horror movie.
Yeah.
And I just can't. It's probably happened in one of the Silent Night Deadly Nights.
Yeah.
It might not have, though.
Yeah. But I was like, man, that's good stuff. But yeah, you were very astute in observing that sunglasses scene. That was just really clever. I was kind of hoping, I was like, oh man, please slide the ear thing up under her skull skin.
Oh, yeah, just
I was
add that extra.
I was hoping for one little shot where it just went. But I'm not mad that we didn't get it.
Yeah.
But I was kind of scared it would happen.
Yeah,
you know, that
just
kind
a little
of
gooey.
Yeah, I was like, oh god.
So I do believe it's either right before or right after the scene. Sienna is panicking because they saw on the TV the report. So Sienna is trying to get her brother to come back to the uncle and aunt's house.
So this is where we get the big finale, and again, it's where we have a lot of issues. We have this really good, like emotionally intense scene. We think that Gabby, the young niece, is beheaded and put in a birdcage between her mother and Sienna.
And her father, who is literally torn up and scattered across the whole house.
Yeah, and his skin is pinned to the wall. So we think that Gabby has been killed off screen, or the movie tells us, and Victoria is saying, you know, this is Gabby, we killed her. Turns out, in a big reveal with using the glasses of Jonathan, we figure out that Gabby is fine, but it is Jonathan's head on display, meaning that a main character has been killed off screen, and the uncle, who is, like we just said, been pinned to the wall, he is also killed off screen.
Yeah, the last scene you see the uncle in is getting a phone call from Jonathan.
Yes.
Which is, of course, Art and Victoria using the same thing that they used in 2.
Yeah.
So they copy Jonathan's voice again.
Yeah. And I feel like the uncle's name is
Mark.
Yeah, Mark. I feel like he would have been a really intense, emotional kill in the movie.
It's either Mark. No, it might be Greg. I think Mark's at the very beginning and Greg is that.
Yeah. Uncle Greg. And it's like, I don't know, man. I just felt like it would have been really heartbreaking. It would have been, I'm not going to trade the shower kill for him, right? So there's probably real estate that you're working with. But if it was weird to see 2 important characters killed off screen.
Yeah, there's
in a movie like this.
There's about 3 deaths that are off screen in a Terrifier movie, and it just felt kind of odd to me, especially with how Terrifier is like, nah, we're going to show you everything.
Yeah.
And to have, because Jonathan's head is in like a cage with rats that have been eating on his face.
Yeah.
And you don't know it's Jonathan's skull until the glasses get on. And in theaters, when that happened, I was kind of angry.
Yeah.
Because I really felt that showing that on screen to Sienna would have hit a little harder because he was a survivor from 2.
And maybe you could have given him a redemptive moment since he's been such a whiny baby before he died.
Now, in saying that, that could not have been Jonathan's head at all. Jonathan could be still held captive.
Yeah.
I'm not ruling that out yet. Anything is possible. If they can make the sheriff live from Halloween to Halloween Kills, anything is possible in horror movies now. But for this film to say that that was it, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Granted, like, I didn't think Jonathan was going to have this huge, like, heroic arc or anything, but I thought it would have been cool to use him as, like, the brains that started to piece together what art was. Like,
yeah, especially to clue in the audience, because at this point we're still a little lost on the demon thing.
Yeah.
At least we are.
Yeah,
that we could be
and
wrong
there's
about
there's
something.
probably more lore and stuff like that that we can read into.
Yeah. But the finale, they put a crown of thorns on Sienna. I thought that was hard to watch. I cringed at that for some reason out of everything.
It's the sound effects.
Yeah, the sound design is really good. We get a cool kind of, torture scene with some rats and the mom. That was pretty gnarly. Victoria's just gross and being messed up, and
there is a heartfelt moment with the aunt right before she dies to where she tells Sienna, make him pay or make him suffer, I think is what she said.
Yeah, kill him.
She says, I love you, make them suffer.
Yeah.
And in theaters, it gave me goosebumps.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, that's pretty cool.
Because the aunt's mad.
The aunt understands what Sienna is, too. And she's kind of, you can tell she's frustrated with herself because she didn't believe Sienna.
I want to hear your fan theories on this in the comments, but throughout the finale we get a big awesome fight scene, chainsaw versus that Valkyrie sword. That's all great, spectacular, gross. A portal opens up, like a black hole opens up, maybe to hell, due to the demon decomposition.
It's almost like what she falls into in 2, because remember it's red when she falls into it.
Oh,
as well.
yeah. I got big Evil Dead 2 vibes.
The portal.
Yeah, and I was thinking that after Gabby goes into the hole and it closes, I figured that maybe in Terrifier 4, Sienna might end up going to the realm where the blacksmith was. Like maybe that's where Gabby went. Because there's so many cool designs in there, I don't know if like Damien might want to expand that universe. But I thought for Terrifier 4, that might be a trip that Sienna makes.
Maybe.
Like as her healing, true Super Saiyan form.
Because it's really showing that it's not only the blade that makes Sienna special. There's something just in her that does. Because in 2, the blade reacts and she heals. In this one, the blade is gone and she still heals.
Yeah, and it could be from that transference of power to the paper from her dad, Jason Patrick.
Yep, random Jason Patrick.
Yeah. But what a dream that would be. Get Jason Patrick on your horror movie.
Yeah,
man.
I know.
But I don't know if you guys think that's a thing that's going to happen or if they'll keep it domestic. But I really did. I thought that Sienna was going to fall in the hole with her and they were going to wake up.
That was how the cliffhanger was going to be.
And I thought they were going to wait. I thought he was going to do like Army of Darkness kind of thing, which I wouldn't have been mad at. But again, I want Terrifier 4 to be art hurting real people. I don't really know if I want. I'll love it, but I don't know.
I don't think they'll go to that. I think Damien is going to keep it as art. I think that with Victoria, I think they were just trying to figure out a way to kind of close her arc up. Yeah. And they did. Like, she gets her, spoilers, she gets her head lopped off, and then that's what creates the portal because she dissolves.
It kind of makes the floor soggy.
It makes the floor soggy that she falls in.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the film, you have Art who's gotten away. All of Sienna's family is gone. Yeah. Like, pretty much, I don't know if she has any family members left at this point, but they're all gone. She's left alone. She knows she has power. And you see
She's not scared anymore, that's for sure.
No,
she's going to be mad.
She's just pissed off. Yeah. Like, she is about as mad as any survivor could be in any horror movie at this point. And you see Art get on a bus, and it ends with Art's eyes being more demonic than usual.
Yep.
And that's it.
He honks his horn.
Yeah, he honks his horn.
Yeah, I think that on our score of 1 to 5, I give Terrifier 3 a 4.
I give it a 4 as well.
Excellent. I think that there's more to come. I feel like after we see 4, we will bump 3 up to a 5.
Probably.
You know?
It's difficult because I wish we were told more, but it also makes me more excited to see where it goes. My main issue and why I give it a 4 out of 5 is just because of Jonathan. Like, honestly, even after unless Jonathan's alive in 4, then yeah, that'll shoot it up to a 5.
Yeah.
But that's my main problem with that.
Yeah, I think my problem is I think there's 20 to 30 minutes you could take even out of this one. I don't know. There's things we don't need as far as I think there's things we don't need from the family that still make me care about the family. I think that there's just fat to trim here and there. I think there's 5 to 10 seconds at a time that adds up to a shorter run time, right? Things linger a little bit too long. But I don't know. I think that we're eating good as horror fans.
No, I mean, I've said this many times. I have waited for so long to see a brand new slasher show up. Like I haven't had this since Victor Crawley. So to see Art show up and Art be better in almost every way.
And Victor Crawley's like small time compared to this.
Now, yeah, for sure.
Like I think it's like you grew up with Freddy and Jason and Michael.
Yep.
And we get to live in an era where a new guy is coming up.
Yeah, and it's going to usher in a whole new era of slashers, which makes me so happy because slasher is my favorite genre. So seeing this come back, it shows that, hey, there is still a hardcore fan base that is willing to support these films. Just be creative with it.
I was in the theater to close this out, and there was a kid behind me. He was on a date with his girlfriend. He was 17.
Yeah.
And he looked at the Pennywise. I'm going to get choked up talking about this. But he looked at the Pennywise. And they were kids.
Yeah.
And she asked him if he wanted that bucket. And he said, no, I already have that one. And then he listed like 6 popcorn buckets that he had, all horror. And she goes, where'd you get those? He goes, I ordered them all online.
Yeah.
And I was like, and here he is. Here he is bringing his girl, or she's bringing him, I guess, but he was obviously a horror fan.
Yeah.
And they were sitting down in front of me, and they were laughing and having a good time. And I was like, what a gift for him.
Yeah.
You know?
Gets to have fun. Like, it's a whole new generation, getting a whole new generation of slashers, and I hope that there's a lot more directors out there that are seeing Terrifier and seeing what it can do, and they're like, hey, here's my creative idea.
Yep.
Let's see how this does.
Yeah, good for Damien.
Yes.
Make sure and go watch our Why Terrifier 3 Matters video. You can click it right here, and also make sure and subscribe to Carnage Candy. If you like content like this and you want to support it directly, you can go to patreon.com/hangtime, which is our gaming brand and our master brand for all supporting VOD content. You can go down there and subscribe monthly for early access looks at stuff like this.
Also, if you do know lore about Terrifier, let us know in the comments, because we do want to be educated more on that. And if you happen to know, just let us know down there.
Yeah. And we don't watch YouTube.